reusing this example project that I already have here, let me show you some of the basic components of Rust code. Let's go to main.rs, and in here there's already, even though this is 11 lines long, there's a lot of stuff going on. So let's start from the top, and in here we're using the use keyword. This allows us to import modules, import libraries, and bring them into scope. So that means that in this case, this CLI, we will be able to bring it into the scope for this file. That's why, I can use it right here on line number 6. And this double colon means that this CLI, it's part of the resplit. So it is a way of, it's similar to other programming languages where, well, not necessarily C++, but like or actually very similar to C++, but in languages like Python or JavaScript, where you want to have like a delimiter, well, that double colon will definitely be one where we're able to separate that. Now, in this case, we're importing that, and then we're also terminating with a semicolon. That means that that's the end of the statement. In this case, this statement will bring CLI. So the same thing happens here, and the semicolon is very special because in some situations you will not have a semicolon, and that has a special meaning which we will be covering later. All right, so we'll have CLI and parser, and what's happening at line number 5, we are declaring a function with fn, which does the keyword for declaring functions. In this case, it's called main. We're using parens, but empty because there's nothing in there. We're not accepting any arguments. If we were accepting arguments, that's where they would go. Next, we have the curly brackets, and that starts here and ends right there. And the reason why is because it means that all of these will be within scope. That means that the code here is scoped to only this section, and it won't escape from that scope. Now, it is possible to have nested scope. We won't go there yet, but that's why these curly brackets are useful, and that's what's the reason why we're using them. Now, we are defining variables using let. I mean, we have already a little bit of, we've seen code already with the let keyword, but that's what this is doing. We're defining these variables. We'll cover variables and creating them and using them later, but that's what those are. We'll see this double colon in several different places. That's fine. And essentially, that's it for this main.rs. I mean, there's certain things that we'll be learning more as we progress, but from a very high point of view, in a very oversimplified way, that's more than enough. But now let's take a look at lib.rs. Now here, there's a lot more things going on. And we won't cover absolutely everything, but it's definitely something that I want to show you. Similar to before, we have our use statements here that will bring all of these libraries and modules into scope, but we also have attributes. We haven't seen what a struct is, but it's basically a way to organize things of a similar category, so to say. And these things at the very top are called attributes. These are attributes that are part of the struct. Again, we will have these curly brackets right here and right there, and those are indicating scope. In this case, these attributes will be part of everything here in this struct. It looks very complicated. We'll see later how does this work, and demystify or make it more simple how to grasp what are all of these things that are going on. Now, a new thing here that we haven't seen is the pub, and that means public. We're making it publicly available. We haven't seen yet what's private and what's public, but by default, everything will be private. And when we want to expose them somewhere else, we want to make sure that those will be using pub. Similarly here, we're using pub, and we have seen function, and fn will create this read as stdin function. In this case, it is returning a string. We haven't seen types yet, but this means that it will return the string type. Now, remember we were looking at semicolons? Well, there's one line here in this function that doesn't have a semicolon, and that function, or that line rather, is the last one. So why do you think it doesn't have a semicolon? It doesn't have one because this is the return value. So this thing right here is returning an actual string. By not using a semicolon, we are telling Rust, hey, by the way, this line over here, that's what we're returning. So if, for example, I forget to actually add that semicolon here on line 19, that would mean that the return value will be this thing right here. So that would probably cause some errors, and the compiler will be complaining at it. But that's what not including the semicolon means. So there you go. Those are some of the components, some of the common components on Rust code, and it will allow you to better identify what's going on when you're looking at Rust code and feel a little bit more